Before we delve into the heart of today's exploration, do remember to click the subscribe button. Join us as we journey deeper into the wisdom of early rising. As the first tendrils of dawn begin to paint the night sky, the world is still steeped in slumber. Earth's song is hushed, and darkness embraces the world in its tranquil cocoon. It's during this serene time that a rare opportunity emerges. This opportune moment is when the barrier separating our tangible reality from the spiritual sphere is the most permeable. This transient phase is packed with potential for spiritual connection and introspection, setting the emotional and mental stage for the day that's about to unfold. Contrary to popular belief, the act of waking early is not just a hack to increase productivity, a secret tactic employed by successful moguls and high achievers. No, it's far more profound. It's a practice deeply rooted in Christian teachings and customs. The Bible, our compass through the journey of life, is replete with instances of early rising. Jesus Christ, our ultimate exemplar, was known to rise at daybreak, finding solitude and engaging in spiritual communion with his Father. The dawn is a potent symbol of hope, of fresh starts, and of the enduring promise that light will always vanquish darkness. Rising early is an act of synchronizing our lives with this promise. It's a quiet declaration that we stand prepared to embrace the blessings of the new day, confront the challenges that lie ahead, and seize the opportunities that are yet to materialize. Rising early, however, is not just about the act itself. It's about how we utilize that time. It's about fortifying our spiritual resilience, nourishing our souls with prayer and meditation, and setting our intentions for the day. It's about kickstarting our day grounded in faith, hope, and love. The early morning hours become a sacred space for fostering our spiritual growth and strengthening our connection with the divine. As we venture further into this, we'll unravel the biblical significance of early rising, the teachings of the Church, and the myriad spiritual and practical benefits this practice carries. We'll delve into the scriptural references and the wisdom of the Church Fathers on the importance of these early hours. We'll also explore the physiological benefits of rising early, such as increased productivity, improved mental health, and enhanced fitness. The early morning, often referred to as the sacred hours, can help set the rhythm for a successful day, enhancing our physical and mental well-being. We'll also offer practical tips to make this practice an integral part of your daily routine. We'll guide you through a step-by-step process, from establishing a consistent sleep schedule to creating a morning routine that suits your lifestyle. The journey of early rising is a personal one, and we'll help you tailor it to your needs and circumstances. So, whether you're a seasoned early riser or a night owl looking to make a change, we extend our invitation to you. We invite you to join us on this enlightening journey as we discover the profound impact that early rising can have on our lives. As we embark on this journey together, let's remember that every sunrise brings a promise of new beginnings and renewed hope. The Bible, our guiding light, has always emphasized the importance of rising early. It's not just about the biological benefits of catching the dawn, but more so about the spiritual significance that it holds. From the beginning to the end, the Bible is filled with teachings and examples showcasing the spiritual, mental, and physical advantages of waking up early in the day. Firstly, let's embark on a journey through the pages of the Old Testament. The Old Testament, filled with narratives of prophets, kings, and warriors, is a treasure trove of instances of early rising. One can't help but notice the pattern of early risers who were key figures in the biblical narrative. Their lives are testament to the power and significance of rising early. In the book of Genesis, we see Abraham, the patriarch of faith, rising early. Abraham, a man of unshakable faith, is an exemplar of early rising. On that fateful day, when he was to offer his beloved son Isaac on Mount Moriah, the scripture tells us clearly, Abraham rose early in the morning. The gravity of his circumstance did not deter him from rising early. Abraham was about to make the hardest decision of his life, yet he did not delay, he did not procrastinate. He rose early, obedient and ready to fulfill God's command, exemplifying the strength that can be found in the practice of rising early. Transitioning to the book of Exodus, we find Moses, the great deliverer, also an early riser. Moses' life is another testament to the power of waking up early. When God commanded him to confront Pharaoh, the scripture states, Moses rose up early in the morning and went unto Pharaoh. Moses, tasked with leading his people out of Egypt, started his days early, setting a precedent for the importance of early rising in leadership and service. His dedication gives us insight into the power of starting the day early, particularly when faced with monumental tasks. We then flip the pages to reach the life of Jesus Christ, the Son of God. Christ provides the ultimate example of rising early. Mark's Gospel tells us very early in the morning, while it was still dark, Jesus got up, left the house, and went off to a solitary place where he prayed. Jesus, in his earthly ministry, demonstrated the power of early morning prayer and reflection, setting the tone for the day in communion with the Father. His routine teaches us that rising early provides a quiet time for prayer, reflection, and preparation for the day ahead. But the practice of early rising did not end with Christ. It continued onto the apostles and the early church, showing us that this wasn't just an Old Testament practice, but a cornerstone of Christian life. In the book of Acts, we see Paul and Silas, faithful servants of God, rising early. After being freed from prison by an earthquake, they came out of the prison and entered into the house of Lydia. And when they had seen the brethren, they comforted them, and they departed. And when it was day, they went on their way. Here again we notice the practice of early rising, linked with service, evangelism, and community support. These instances aren't mere coincidences or random events. They are part of a divine pattern, a clear biblical principle set forth for us to follow. Rising early is a symbol of obedience, commitment, and dedication. It's a time when distractions are when the world is quiet, and we can hear God more clearly. Early rising is like aligning ourselves with God's creation. As the dawn breaks and the day begins, we too rise, ready to partake in the divine rhythm of life. But what really happens in the early morning hours? In the silence of the early morning, we find a space for prayer, for meditation on God's word. It's a time to seek guidance, to lay our plans before God, to intercede for others, and to listen to what God has to say to us. It's also a time of worship. As the psalmist says, "In the morning, Lord, you hear my voice. In the morning I lay my requests before you and wait expectantly." It's a time to express our adoration, our gratitude, our love for the Creator of the universe. As we rise early, we follow the footsteps of biblical figures who were spiritual giants, warriors of faith. We join the ranks of those who knew the secret of starting the day with God. Rising early brings us closer to God, aligns us with His will, prepares us for the challenges day, and sets us on a path of spiritual growth and development. So our journey through the Bible tells a clear story. From the prophets of the Old Testament to Jesus Christ and His apostles, rising early is a consistent theme. It's presented as a vital practice, aid to spiritual growth, and a tool for effective service. Clearly, the Bible holds the practice of rising early in high regard, signifying a dedicated commitment to spiritual growth. Beyond the Bible, early rising has been emphasized in various Christian teachings and traditions. This notion of waking up early is not to biblical teachings, but also permeates the teachings of various Christian denominations, saints, and spiritual leaders who have all emphasized its spiritual significance. This emphasis on greeting the dawn is rooted in the belief that the morning is a sacred time, a time to connect with the divine before the demands of the day take hold. In the Catholic tradition, for instance, the practice of matins, also known as the office of readings, is observed before dawn. This early morning prayer service is part of the Liturgy of the Hours, the official set of prayers marking the hours of each day. It is a practice steeped in centuries of tradition, a testament to the enduring significance of early rising in Christian spirituality. Matins serves to sanctify the day ahead, transforming the mundane into the sacred, and is testament to the importance of beginning the day in communion with God. This daily ritual is not just about observing religious obligations, but about cultivating a personal relationship with God. It is a spiritual discipline, a way of life. The concept of early rising finds resonance in the teachings of St. Benedict of Nursia, the founder of Western monasticism. In his rule for monks, St. Benedict prescribed a rigorous schedule that began at the crack of dawn with prayers and psalms. He believed that the early hours of the morning when the world is still and quiet, present the perfect opportunity to connect with God. His teachings continue to shape Christian monasticism to this day, reflecting the enduring influence of his spiritual insights. The Protestant tradition also emphasizes the value of early rising. John Wesley, the founder of Methodism, was a staunch advocate for waking up at 4 in the morning. He viewed the early morning as a sacred time, ideal for prayer and reflection. Wesley's discipline of early rising was so ingrained, it is said that he woke up even before his alarm rang. His dedication to morning prayers exemplifies the Protestant work ethic, a belief in the spiritual value of hard work and discipline. The Orthodox Christian tradition also upholds the practice of early rising. The morning service, known as orthros or matins, is conducted before sunrise. This service is seen as the first offering of the day to God. It includes reading of the psalms, hymns and prayers that set the spiritual tone for the rest of the day. This practice underscores the Orthodox belief in the transformative power of prayer, the ability of prayer to bring us closer to God. Among renowned Christian authors, C.S. Lewis wrote eloquently about the importance of starting the day off right. The moment you wake up each morning, all your wishes and hopes for the day rush at you like wild animals. And the first job each morning consists in shoving all back, in listening to that other voice, taking that other point of view, letting that other larger, stronger, quieter life come flowing in. Billy Graham, the prominent evangelical Christian figure, once said, "Each morning when you get up, take a moment to thank God for the new day." He believed that beginning the day with gratitude and prayer helps to focus our minds on God and prepares us for the day ahead. His words resonate with Christians around the world, reminding us of the importance of daily communion with God. Modern day also find value in rising early. Numerous Christian self-help books and spiritual guides extol the virtues of early rising, presenting it as a practical means of fostering a closer relationship with God. These authors draw on the rich tradition of early rising in Christianity, offering practical advice for integrating this spiritual discipline into our hectic modern lives. Across the spectrum of Christian traditions, from Catholic to Protestant, Orthodox to Evangelical, the common thread is the emphasis on early rising as a spiritual discipline. The quiet of the early morning is seen as a sacred space, a time to commune with God before the hustle and bustle of the day begins. This isn't about productivity or getting more done. It's about creating a habit that aligns our spirit with the divine, that puts God at the forefront of our day, that prayer and contemplation into the fabric of our daily lives. St. John Chrysostom, an early church father, once wrote, "When you awake in the morning, let your first act be to salute my heart and to offer me your own." Early rising, then, is a way of offering our hearts to God at the start of each day. It's about setting a spiritual intention, prioritizing our relationship with God, and inviting His presence into our day. From morning prayers to daily devotionals, the practice of early rising serves to sanctify our day, to infuse our daily routines with spiritual significance. From these teachings, we can see that early rising is not just a routine, but a spiritual discipline that brings us closer to God. It is a way of life, a practice that shapes our relationship with God, that cultivates our spiritual growth. It is a testament to the enduring power of Christian spirituality, a testament to the transformative power of prayer and contemplation. It is a testament to the enduring power of faith. Rising early isn't just about getting a head start on the day, it's about spiritual nourishment. And so, to truly understand this concept, we need to delve deep and explore the myriad spiritual benefits of rising early. The dawn is a rare and special time of the day, a moment of tranquility before the rush, the hustle and the bustle of life takes over. It is a time when most of the world is still cocooned in slumber. You stand alone with your thoughts, your prayers, and most importantly with God. The early morning hours hold a certain magic, a prime time for prayer. As the Bible beautifully articulates in Psalm 5, verse 3, "In the morning, Lord, you hear my voice. In the morning I lay my requests before you and wait expectantly." When you rise early, you have a unique opportunity to commune with the divine. You can lay out your deepest hopes, your darkest fears, and your most cherished dreams before Him and patiently listen for His divine guidance, His answer to your prayers. But this is more than just about prayer. Early rising opens up a window for quiet reflection. It's a time when you can sit back and ponder the mysteries of life, reflect on your ultimate purpose, and seek wisdom. As it's profoundly written in Proverbs 8 verse 17, "I love those who love me, and those who me find me." By rising early, you create a sacred space for this seeking, a space where you can find God in the silence of the morning, in the profound stillness of your heart. There's also a much deeper connection with God that can be found in these early hours. It's a moment when you can feel His divine presence more acutely, when you can sense His love enveloping you, comforting you, and guiding you. As the psalmist writes in Psalm 46 verse 10, "Be still and know that I, God." In the tranquility of the early morning, you can be still. You can know God in a profound, intimate way that isn't always possible amidst the noise and distractions of the day. Moreover, early rising allows you to cultivate mindfulness and gratitude. It's a time when you can appreciate the beauty of creation, from the first light of dawn piercing the night sky to the melodious singing of the birds. It's a time when you can count your blessings, express thanks for the gift of a new day, and prepare your heart to receive God's grace. As the Bible teaches us in Thessalonians 5 verse 18, "In everything give thanks, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus for you." By starting your day with gratitude, you align yourself with God's will and open your heart wide to His abundant blessings. Early rising also fosters discipline and self-control, virtues that are highly esteemed in the Christian faith. As it's said in Proverbs 25 verse 28, "Like a city whose walls are broken through is a person who lacks self-control." By rising early, you willingly exercise self-control. You build spiritual. You demonstrate your commitment to your faith, your willingness to sacrifice sleep for the sake of your spiritual growth. So, you see, rising early isn't just a practical habit. It's a spiritual practice. It's a way of life that brings you closer to God, that deepens your faith, that enriches your spiritual journey. It's a sacred ritual, a holy discipline, a divine calling. In the quiet of the early morning, you can hear the voice of God whispering in your ear, guiding you, comforting you, loving you. You can feel His presence enveloping you, wrapping you in a blanket of divine love. You can see His hand in the beauty of the dawn, in the song of the birds, in the gift of a new day. You can taste His goodness in the sweetness of the morning air, in the freshness of the new day. You can touch His heart in the stillness of your own, in the silence of your prayers, in the depth of your faith. And so, as you rise early, as you start your day with prayer, reflection, and gratitude, remember this. You're not just waking up, you're awakening. You're awakening to the presence of God, to the beauty of creation, to the blessings of a new day. You're awakening to your purpose, to your potential, to your power as a child of God. You're awakening to the truth of who you are, to the truth of who God is, to the truth of what life is all about. Arising early allows us to start our day with a spiritual focus, setting the tone for a day lived in alignment with our faith. Now that we understand the spiritual significance of rising early, how can we make this a part of our daily routine? Rising early has been an age-old practice, steeped in spiritual and practical benefits. As the dawn breaks and the sun starts to peek over the horizon, painting the sky with hues of orange and purple, the world is still. This tranquility offers an undisturbed period of time, a sacred space for solitude and peace, where we can connect with ourselves and the universe. But how can we become part of this world of early risers? How can we transition from being creatures of the night to embracing the break of day? An important aspect of making this change is to understand the potential benefits and to cultivate a desire for these early hours. It's about perceiving these precious moments not as a sacrifice but as a gain, an opportunity for personal and spiritual growth. The first step in this journey is to set a consistent wake-up time. This might seem like an uphill battle at first, especially if you're used to late nights and late mornings. However, our bodies are incredibly adaptable, and this is where we can leverage our biological clock. Just as we adjust to new time zones when we travel, we can train our bodies to rise early. It might take a few days or even a few weeks, but with consistency, this new habit will become second nature. Next, we need to prepare for the morning the night before. Setting out our clothes and preparing our breakfast are simple steps that can make our mornings smoother. But more importantly, we need to create a calming evening routine that prepares our minds for sleep. This might involve reading a book, meditating, or praying. By signaling to our bodies that it's time to rest and recharge, we're setting ourselves up for a good night's sleep and a successful early rise. Sleep is a vital part of our health, both physically and spiritually. It's not just about the hours we sleep, but the quality of our sleep that counts. While the recommended amount varies from person to person, most adults need between 7 and 9 hours of sleep each night. By going to bed earlier and ensuring we're getting the rest we need, we can still wake up refreshed, even if it's earlier than we're used to. As we begin to establish our new routine, it's important to create a morning ritual that we look forward to. This could include prayer, meditation, exercise, or simply enjoying a quiet cup of coffee. By starting our day with activities we enjoy, we give ourselves a reason to get out of bed and a positive start to the day. Our diet and exercise also play a pivotal role in our sleep patterns and energy levels. A balanced diet and regular physical activity can improve our sleep quality and energy levels. We are what we eat, and if we fuel our bodies correctly, we'll rise earlier with more energy and improved cognitive function. In the early morning hours, there is an opportunity for spiritual growth. Just as Jesus rose early to pray, we too can rise early to spend time in prayer and contemplation. This not only allows us to start our day with a clear mind and open heart, but also brings us closer to God. We can use this time to read and study the Bible, grounding ourselves in His teachings and carrying them with us throughout the day. But what if you're not a morning person? What if the thought of waking up early fills you with dread? It's essential to remember that becoming an early riser is a process. It takes time and patience. Start slowly, by waking up just a few minutes earlier each day. Over time, these few minutes will add up, and before you know it, you'll be part of the Early Risers Club. And finally, give yourself grace. We're human and bound to have days when we don't meet our expectations. Some days, despite our best intentions, we might not make it out of bed early. However, these should not be perceived as failures, but as opportunities to learn and grow. Early rising is not just about being productive or getting more done. It's about starting our day in a state of peace and tranquility. It's about dedicating our first to God, just as Jesus did. It's about embracing the quiet, the solitude, and the beauty of the morning. So let's take these practical steps and start incorporating the spiritual discipline of early rising into our everyday lives. Let's rise with the sun, greet the day with open hearts, and start our day with God. Remember, the early morning has gold in its mouth, and as early risers, we have the privilege of discovering this gold, of embracing the peace and tranquility comes with the dawn. With these practical steps, we can start to incorporate the spiritual discipline of early rising into our everyday lives. As we draw to a close, let's reflect on what we've learned about the practice of early rising. This journey that we embarked upon together led us down paths of self-discovery and spiritual enlightenment, shedding light on how a seemingly simple act of rising early can manifest as a powerful catalyst for spiritual growth and personal success. Our first step was to delve into the concept of rising early. The first light of a new day is not just a marker of time or a ceremonial start of a workday, but rather a profound symbol of renewal, rejuvenation, and hope. The early morning hours, when the world is still wrapped in a blanket of serenity, offer the perfect setting for quiet reflection and communion with the divine. It's a time when the world pauses, and we can truly listen to the still small voice within us, guiding us towards our true purpose and life path. Next, we broadened our understanding by examining the biblical significance of early rising, From the Old Testament to the New, we identified numerous instances where key figures, including Jesus Christ himself, made a conscious habit of waking up while it was still dark to pray and meditate. This practice underlines the power and spiritual significance of early rising, and relevance to our faith journey cannot be underestimated. We also cast our gaze towards early rising in the context of Christian teachings and traditions. Church fathers, scholars, and theologians throughout history have lauded the virtues of waking up early. They equate this practice with discipline, devotion, and a fervent desire to seek and connect with God. These teachings serve as a reminder that early rising extends beyond being a mere lifestyle choice. It is a spiritual discipline that can strengthen and deepen our connection with God. We then focused our attention on the spiritual benefits of early rising. The act of waking up early ushers in our day with a sense of peace and purpose, setting a positive and productive tone for the hours that follow. It gifts us with an opportunity to spend time in prayer and meditation, fostering a sense of inner calm and spiritual clarity. Moreover, the quiet of the early morning is a perfect moment to cultivate gratitude, to set our hearts on the blessings we have received, and to anticipate the promises that are yet to be fulfilled. Towards the end of our exploration, we shared practical tips for early rising. These strategies go beyond the realm of changing our sleep patterns. They're about transforming our mindset, embracing a lifestyle that prioritizes spiritual well-being. From establishing a soothing bedtime routine to setting meaningful intentions for the day ahead, these strategies are designed to help us harness the potential of the early morning hours. But remember, early rising is not a one-size-fits-all approach. It's a personal journey that requires patience, perseverance, and a willingness to listen to the rhythms of our own bodies. It's about discovering a routine that works for us, one that aligns with our spiritual goals and personal needs. As we strive to rise early, let's remember that it's not just about gaining extra hours in our day, but about fostering our spiritual growth. It's about carving out a sacred space for communion with God, where we can tune out the noise of the world and tune into the gentle whisperings of our soul. Let's also remember that early rising is not an end in itself, but a tool, a means to a deeper end. It enables us to cultivate a more mindful and meaningful life. A life that is anchored in the love and grace of God. As we continue on this journey, let's encourage each other to seek God in the quiet of the morning, nurturing our faith daily. Let's remember that every new day is a gift, an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to draw closer to our Creator. In conclusion, as we strive to rise early, let's remember that it's not just gaining extra hours in our day, but about nurturing our spiritual growth. Let's remember the importance of starting our day with a sense of purpose and intention, setting the stage for a day filled with peace, productivity, and spiritual fulfillment. Let's remember to view early rising as a tool, a means to enrich our lives and anchor it in the love and grace of God. Let's remember to encourage each other on this journey, to rise early, to seek God in the tranquility of the morning, and to live each day with a sense of purpose and gratitude. Don't forget to subscribe for more enriching. Thank you for joining us on this journey.